What's going on, Ultra Buddies? Paradino Games Holiday Edition. So happy holidays to everyone, whatever
Happy
you
holidays.
are celebrating. And BP06 is getting underway, which is Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, presents for all of us. So we'll just talk about it. The new cards this week. So we got Orb, we got some Blazar to talk about at the end. So stay tuned for that, and we'll just get to it. For now, Ultraman Orb, triple rare. Activates on a triple. Once per turn, send the bottom card of your deck to discard area and give one of your orb that shares a type with the sent card plus 2,000 BP. And then if you send a basic type to the discard, give one orb BP grade 1 up for this turn. A lot to take in.
It's kind of really neat because it's an activate which it goes to the discard area. I kind of misread the activation cost. So when you put a card at the bottom of the deck, you guarantee, you kind of, if you remember it is a private zone, so you have to remember, but
yeah,
you get a plus 2,000 and basic BP grade up, which is really good if you have a basic orb at the bottom. It's because Jeed Claw gives you plus 1,000 to any character. This is
right.
plus 2,000 and a BP grade up if you set it up right. So it's really good.
Yeah, I think the hardest part about that is that you need a basic type orb on the field and a basic type at the bottom to really take advantage of it.
Well, yes. So the BP grade up can be to any orb if the bottom card's basic. The orb doesn't have to be a basic.
Yeah.
But if you want, the 2,000 does have to be for an orb card.
Yeah. I think a lot of people are thinking about double dipping, like having a basic on the field, getting a plus 2,000 and getting BP grade up, which is obviously like a really crazy effect. But I think even just the fact that this card is a flexible either plus 2,000 or BP grade up, kind of whatever you need at that moment, it should not be understated.
Oh yeah.
I don't actually think we've had a card that, like a singular card that does both options.
This is really interesting because you have two different types of BP grades. You have the grade up and then the plus points. That being said, this is also an armed type orb, so you can't boost its, like you're very unlikely to boost itself, because I'm assuming orbs don't have too many arm types they typically run.
Not that I remember. Yeah. And orb is really interesting too. It's almost funny how like this sword has like all the different colors, because that's how orb feels like. This Ultraman Orb Origin is arm type. I believe the triple rare from BP03 is a basic type, so that's like kind of the main combo with double basics, or like having a basic type out for both effects. The what's it called, Zedekam Beam?
Yes,
that is a power type.
It's a power type. Okay, I need to look up what all the orbs
and are. The one that gets a BP grade increase when you put a card to the bottom, I believe, is a speed type.
Yes, and then there's also
there's one that if you discard a scene, it gives plus 2,000. That I believe is also a speed type. So it's like, it's just the whole like,
and if
everything.
Burn Mites, basic, armed. Yeah, you have the full set, which makes it. I mean, the nice thing is that Orb also has a lot of cards that put things on the bottom, so you can at least set yourself up. But the BP grade up is, I don't know which effect's easier to pull off. The BP grade up is easier in the sense that you could put a basic to the bottom, and any orb can benefit, versus like the plus 2,000, you really need to have the right cards in both either your hand or the bottom of the deck to like, and the field to benefit.
Yeah, I think what I like again is the versatility, because like you said, Orb has like not only all the cards that like do that because they're Orb specific, like the scenes, but also like any level 1 that puts card to the bottom can set this up. You could use one at the beginning of the game and then set this up and like just remember what that card is, and then be like, okay, I know what that card is, so I don't have to like, there's like the return 2, you can put 2 to the bottom of the deck, you can draw 2. Those cards will help you set up the bottom. So it'll be really important to kind of like remember what cards you have there, just in case you can't set up the effect. You
also have to remember to not mess up the effect. Like if you put like turn 1, you put a basic at the bottom, and then you're playing. You have the scene card. Oh, I want to recycle, and then you just dump a scene to the bottom of your deck just to.
Yeah. You have to be careful not to put scenes on the bottom of your deck now, which is very true. So I don't know. This card I think is really, really good just from the versatility. So I'm excited to play with it. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else I have to say about it?
I mean, I like Orb now has 2 triple R options. Like the 16K gets you the draw. This one gets you plus power, and that with the Stim Beam, like now your 16Ks can get bumped to 18K, so they don't feel as weak anymore. And with the extra cards in your hand, you can afford some of those.
Yeah.
Now, one interaction I'm wondering about, because this feels still mono Orb, which is very susceptible to Zeton, like in this game. But it sends things into your discard area. So now I'm wondering, like, okay, well, what other decks pair with things like discard? Like, I mean, Mebius was one. You could put some things into your discard and bump your orbs, get more discard fodder. Like Z's also used to do that, like, you know, being able to delete things from scene. The Dynas like have exile or exile scene cards in grade up. So kind of, I'm curious to see if there's any pairings there that like can benefit from a couple extra cards in your discard. Orb Bolton.
Orb Bolton. Oh no. Yeah. So I'll pause on Orb Dyna there for a bit, just because I thought about it for a bit, because also because I also saw a Japanese player posted on Twitter, but there's the orb that you discard a scene, get plus 2,000, and then exile the scene, get plus 2,000. So if you have 2 of those and a scene card in your hand, you get plus 4,000. That's actually not that bad of a combo. And Orb going into this new set, Dyna has a scene that also lets you put cards on the bottom.
Yeah.
And also has like the effect to let you get triples easier, which is something that Orb likes.
Yeah, I think it seems like, and
something to think about.
I really like, now we have activates, because before like the
Orb was kind of all in.
Can't really do. But you could play this as a 2/3, put one at the bottom, and you don't miss out on anything.
Yeah. So I think one of the big questions for Orb has been like, how do you all the scenes are level 1 scenes, round 1 scenes. How do you like keep or maintain lead for the deck? If you lose lead and they play a round 2 scene, then now I can't play scenes, I can't put cards on the bottom of my deck. Feels kind of bad. So how do we get or keep lead while the other cards in this video are exactly how? We have this orb that gets plus 2,000 if you are the next player, and we have an orb that gets plus 2,000 if you are the lead player. Both are these doubles. They're kind of like BPO1 Blazar at home.
Yeah.
It feels like, it's basically the same effect. 13,000 when they come into play, but they have this extra condition on them.
Yeah, it would have been nice if they had the Blazar, or I think Nexus also got a similar effect where it's just
Nexus
2,000.
just got that. It's
so
always
2,000. You have to time it right. I think you I feel like Orb is probably a deck you maybe end up playing from the next player position. So maybe you go with the speed type, or maybe go all in with like a really aggressive STM build, or just playing like going all in from the start. Then you want this one to get in a bit of an aggressive extra push.
Yeah, I think I would lean towards playing Orb from the lead position, just because then, like, theoretically, both players play level 1 draws. You keep lead for round 1. You have just an opportunity to play your scene immediately, which helps a lot. So I would kind of lean towards this one, but we'll just kind of have to see. I think unless you're playing mono Orb, it's going to be really hard to choose all the Orb options now. There's like 5 level 3s that like are pretty reasonable. There's like the Scene Searcher, there's the Return 2, there's this one, these 2, there's just vanilla 12,000s. Like,
I think this one's really also interesting, where if you have the Orb triple R, the new one, and you give this a BP grade up on the turn you play, it's a 16K double.
True.
Which you don't have too many of those around. So
yeah,
really nice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's actually a really good point.
Or if you scarred into something.
Yeah, and you could if you scarred into something.
Play a 1/2 of this scarred, and because I know Blazar Orb was a combo I've seen many times. I think you've tried it. I've seen other players play it. this can be
Yeah,
really
and that's really good. The Blazar combos, because you get plus 2,000. Maybe you go into the new, there's the original triple rare, draws 2, gives plus 1,000 to something, and that actually could be a 19,000 by itself that way.
Yep.
So pretty tricky things you can do. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Very excited for Orb. The new triple R looks like a lot of fun, and I think it's hard to say because we don't know about like the only other triple rare we've seen is the G level 2 and the Blazar Feedron armor, and we don't know nothing about charge. So, but this card, just the versatility, big thumbs up. All right, let's move on. 10 minutes on Orb. I think we can talk about the other Orb card we can spend 10 minutes on, which is the new scene. Why don't you read this one for us?
Yeah, so this is the Holy Sword Restored. If you have Orb, you may choose 1 or 2 of your double or triple characters and return that many cards from your hand to the bottom of your deck and put those cards, the top of each of those characters, into its owner's hand. I had to think about this one for a while when I first read it, like, because you put stuff to the bottom of your deck and you're taking characters on the field back in your hand. So it kind of worried me at first because it reminds me of like a Gaia bounce, but you don't necessarily get any I don't know what's the right word. You don't get any like card advantage per se, but you open up new opportunities. And you were talking about this quite a bit before.
Yeah, so I think the best way to this card, like I was like, this card's crazy good. When I saw this card, I was like, oh my goodness, because this card opens up so much. Specifically, just like I think we'll leave it to just Orb to talk about, because once you start adding in other things, it gets a little crazy because it does say characters, so you can bounce your kaijus, you can play them back out. Like Lugia will work. You can just keep someone like permastunned with Lugia, which is pretty funny. But even just Orb, like you can kind of, I think one of the issues was with Orb is being a heavy on play deck. You kind of like trying to find that spot where you can play all your cards at once and get the game, or and then you like might lose, but then hopefully you drew from the old one. Now and then also you're like, oh, I don't want to play the old one because if it's just a 16,000, so it's kind of weak. But this card basically just fixes all the problems because you can just go all in and then maybe it doesn't kill. And you're like, it's okay. Next turn I have lead and I'll just play it and I'll get my cards back and I'll do it again. Or maybe you just start off just playing a bunch of draws for triple rares. You draw a bunch of cards and you get the scene and you go boom. And then I'll swap them into the new triple rare. And now I get convert all the cards I had now into power. Yeah. So it just like lets you have like this level of flexibility we've never seen in Ultraman before, because normally you're just like, I built my triple, I'm kind of stuck now. And for the most part.
It's also really neat where like we've seen with some of the other cards and things, Orb can hit 19k with the right on play or activate effects. So you could think of it this way, like if you played a 16k Orb and I had my Tiga triple rare, okay, I'm gonna park my Tiga right on top of your 16k Orb, and then you play this, basically take out your 16k, then put in a Zestium Beam, go up to 19k, and then can play some very interesting surprises with that.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. So we'll just have to see what gets used out of it. You have to remember it comes down before level up phase. So even if you have nothing to use it with, you can always just return the cards that you have down back to your hand and then just play them again.
Keep in mind, you do have to have cards in your hand to put to the bottom of the deck to get this. So if you wanted to, let's say you had like 2 cards in your hand and you're going to play a double in that new lane, and then you play this and you like put 2 back to get those 2 out. You actually you now no longer have those 2 cards to play as the double. So don't. This reminds me of like that Gaia Fear where you kind of like self-destruct where you're like, I have the perfect turn, I'm gonna play this, and then you just screwed up your perfect turn. So you have to be careful, but it does open up a lot of good plays. If you have that big card advantage, you can afford to get rid of those cards for this.
Yeah, absolutely. I was always kind of like a fan of Orb. Like the mono Orb deck was pretty fun, pretty solid. Obviously weak to everyone's favorite Zeton, but I think this like gets me even more excited about Orb. So let's move on though. We have Sevenger, a Warrior's Principle. Round 1 scene, discard a Sevenger, give one of your Ultra Mech plus 2,000. This is a tough one, right? You gotta play Sevenger. We have no idea how good Sevenger is, and it can only boost Ultra Mechs, which might not be. They might be garbage. Like, sorry, Sevenger, you look like a trash can already.
So it's like Arc to the Future for mechs, which could be really good or like
really bad,
just not helpful. It also, since it's around 1 scene, I'm wondering, like, is there an Arc mech combo in the future where like maybe Arc and Sevenger like have
Arc
some weird
Sevenger.
synergy, and you just like play this from hand, discard one, give a mech, but you probably need more.
I mean, the mech hopeful. Oh man, the mech hopefuls are praying for Earth Daron Sevenger deck right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this will be a card we come back to in the future.
For
like
sure.
If they reduce or release like some more mech support, like we get more Earth Garons, or we get like another really strong mech that has like a good package, and this is a support for it. This could be really, really strong in the future.
Okay, Ultraman noob question: is there like a Belial for mechs? Like, could there be like a guy, like a character with it like becomes like the Belial deck but for mechs?
Belial deck for mechs. So it's kind of weird because with the kaijus they've released so far, there are a couple kaijus who would, like, you could argue that should be in this like mech category. But I think they've limited this to specifically good guy support mechs, if that makes sense. Because there's been other like mech characters who aren't bad or who are like allies, but they're not in this like human operated or support role kind of thing. So it's tricky to say. Not every character has like ultra mechs. But that doesn't mean they can't have that be like, you know, Sevenger Triple R, where he just bumps other like other mechs that BP grade up. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Raycubus. Why don't you read this one?
Oh yeah. So this is Raycubus. Actually, probably one of my favorite kaijus. Just growing up, but he's big claw, little claw, always cool. But so this is a neat one where it's a 10k, 14k, 16k, and when this character's battle opponent is power, BP grade up. If you're type speed, go to extra. So it feels like it's not exactly an upgrade per se to Golba, but it's like a very interesting take on the strong number that you can get a BP grade down against speed.
Yeah, I really like how it's kind of mixed to you know the kaiju classic, where it's like, oh, it becomes really bad, but also gets that like, okay, well, the ultra heroes used to get BP grade ups for certain types, so kaiju's getting that, and it mixes them in this weird way of like, okay, this is actually really interesting because you got to get the typing right. It obviously works really well with cheat identity, and I think it's like a nice side grade to go, but like gives you another option. It's not going to be as strong, but it might be better like overall when you like catch power types.
Yeah, so this is, if you can catch the type, like, you know what you're going against, this is, you know, potentially better than Golba. If you have cheat identity, like you said, it's better. But then, like, if you compare to, like, if you have Belial Triple R and you discard a card, you're either going from 10 to 14, which is worse, or 14 to 16, which still isn't as good as just 17.
Just straight 17. 10 to 17 is always just almost insane. But speaking of that, like kind of Golba, a little tangent, I do think like Katana Threat stocks are going to be going up as we get more sets, because we kind of were in this level 4 meta, but now these decks are going to get more support. They're just going to move away a little bit from level 4s, and so Katana Threat is going to be a lot stronger, and it doesn't have any type weakness.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, so let's move on. Our next one is Jeed. We've seen Zero get this card before. For every Jeed you have, give this character plus 1,000. So turn 5, it's plus 5,000 and 9,000 for 1. It's pretty solid. If you could BP grade up it's going to get 12,000. Solid, like, it's just like a nice level 1 that also works really well late game, especially in a deck like Jeed, which can just pump out BP grade ups whenever it wants.
And it's like, I think it's also coming out at a good time because Jeed doesn't really have a lot of level 1s that I particularly want to use.
Yeah.
So having this one, like the other one, it's like bound to double to your hand, give 1,000. It's tricky to use because really you want to use that at a later turn, so you have something to bounce into. But by then you want to win that latest lane because that's like when the game's getting really competitive. So it's always been in an awkward spot. Like maybe use it turn 2 for some weird shenanigans, but with this one, you could play this turn 5 after you have like your scene out, and 12k, pretty solid.
Yeah, I really like it. It definitely feels like it fits more within like what Jeed's trying to do. All right, speaking of Jeed still, we have Welcome to the Secret Base. So why don't you read this one?
Yeah. So round 2, activate scene. So this one, once per turn, choose one of your Jeeds and reveal one Jeed card from your hand. If the revealed card shares a type with the chosen character, that character becomes unaffected by any BP grade decrease for this turn. So it's great defense against Valgenesses, the new Blazars, or any other BP grade down effects.
Yeah, I think it's pretty, I don't know, this one feels pretty straightforward to me. It's a solid card. It'll lock out some of your opponent's plays, which is always nice. And like I think BP grade decrease is becoming a lot more common. And I expect Blazar to be very, very good coming up, and they have a lot of BP grade decrease. So yeah, it's good to see that we've got some ways to counter what I would consider the strongest effect in the game.
Yeah. It is always a little tricky though. You do have to make sure you keep your types consistent. Like if they BP grade down your arm type and you don't have an arm type in hand, you're out of luck. So it's got a nice little balance to it. It's not too good defensively. Like you can still miss it, which is unfortunate, but it's still like I mean, there aren't too many round 2 scenes I use today. Like there's the one that you get to draw a card, but that needs a setup of an activate, which good if you can get it, but otherwise kind of weird. And then the My Name, which you need to have like a power type oriented deck to really get the value of that one. So
yeah,
there's that. So this is like a nice alternative, especially if the BP downs become too much of an issue.
Yep. All right. And our last 2 cards are going to be Blazar cards. Ultraman Blazar. When Earth Garon enters play, you can give this character BP grade up. It goes to 5 to 10,000. What do you think about this one as a resident Blazar?
If you, it's really interesting with Scarred and stuff. So if you play this late game and you have Scarred out, you get a BP grade increase because you also play an Earth Garon, and then you Scarred on top of it, and then now you're maybe let's say a 14k level 2. That's kind of a nice jump. At the same time, Blazar also has some really good level 1 options, so it's kind of weird because like if you want to play, if you're playing a Scarred deck, the one that lets you get, if you have seen from discard to top of deck is just really good. So then I might want to say then this is good for a non-Scarred focused deck, but then 10k for a card is not bad. It's still like but you still have to play around it very carefully.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about how Blazar has so many level 1s. Like you have the draw level 1, you have the one that lets you put a card on top of the deck to draw 1. You have this one, you have the one from the Ultra deck, which lets you pick a Blazar and put it on top of the deck. And I feel like to really get the most bang out of this one, you need to kind of like have it on the field, or like you could play it in the new lane, but then you need to have Earth Garon on the field so you can level it up so that it sees the Earth Garon level is coming into play, so that you can discard it later. It seems like a lot of moving pieces compared to like all the other cards where it's like you just get what you want.
So it has its utility, but it's a very competitive space.
We'll see. It's a tight spot, and that's like, it's exciting that Ultraman's getting to this stage where like we really have to think about what level 1s we're going to use. And I think that if you're able to figure out like the difference that these cards make in your deck, like it's going to give you like those little, you're going to eke out those little percentage points of victories. That's going to like make or break tournament runs, things like that. So like it seems kind of like it might not matter, but trust me, it will matter. And so you could like try it, but it's like really annoying. Okay, our last card for today, very exciting, using the charge mechanic, Ultraman Blazar.
So this is a fun one. So again, another competitive space. Blazar has a lot of good level 2s, but
Yeah.
this one's a level 2. When this character enters play, you may reveal the bottom face down sideways card, which is a charge card. Just
Yeah, it's a charge card. Okay.
yeah. So because charge cards are placed at the bottom of the stack sideways, so
Yes.
and they're face down, so charge card. Under one of your Blazar Earth Garons, if you do, and the revealed card is a Blazar Earth Garon, you can put that card into your owner's hand, otherwise send to discard. So I know it says reveal, but it is a public zone. You know what is the card you put under there.
I think you might not know what's under it.
It is a public zone. Like the charge card, you reveal
but
a card.
like a level up is not public.
Sorry, but
Like
the card under. Oh yeah.
When you level up a card, it's in a public zone, but it's a private. Like you can't be like, oh, it's a public zone. Let me see what you leveled up.
Fair enough. That's true. That's true.
So I think anything face down is considered private.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's something that actually I'm really curious when they publish the updated comprehensive rules regarding the charge cards.
The only thing is when you do like for Earth Garon, when you charge, you reveal it and then put it under. But I don't think you're like you might be able to check, but your opponent wouldn't be able to check.
That's a good, it's a good point.
Like you can check your own level up, so the opponent can't check. So I think that's like the important distinction.
Yeah. That's a good point. We'll need to follow up because then it also becomes one of those things where do you have to remember and keep track of what your opponent's charges are doing, or is it like your discard file where you can just peek? Good call out. That actually I would want to. We'll probably do a breakdown of the comprehensive rules, or at least not whether or not it's a video,
at least like a charge or like the charge video, you know.
But yeah, so if it is an Earth Garon or Blazar, you can put it in your hand. So it's kind of like a nice. So the first half of it is you need to get charge cards.
Yes.
Into your cards, and then the other one is like how do you start consuming charge. So we've seen the 2 Blazar triple Rs that can get rid of a charge and BP grade down, or get rid of a charge and do a minus 2000. Now you can get rid of a charge and draw that card, put it back in your hand.
Yeah. Really strong gives you another option. I think like what really stands out to me the most is like kind of like your ideal hand where like you play a level 1 draw Blazar, and then next turn you play Earth Garon level 1 and this one in lane 1, and then you draw 2, put 1 back from Earth Garon, charge the top card of your deck, then reveal it, showing it Blazar Earth Garon, and add it to your hand, and you just like your hand's like gonna be so big. Like it's almost like it's a lot more pieces involved, but it definitely has that kind of like old Mebius feel. Like you're just drawing like a bunch of cards. Every card you play draws a card.
I think the thing with this one though is you do have to figure out that trade-off, because like yes, you get like that immediate short-term or immediate benefit, you get another card, but later in turn 5 when things are really close, you might need to burn a charge to do a BP grade down. And if you don't have any charges stored, now you have to actually downgrade one of your lanes to do those effects. So if you know the game is going to be close and you have a really good hand, it doesn't mean you should always
that's going to be one of the exciting things about charge, because like you said, if you have one charge, depending on how your hand goes, you can either draw with it, you can either BP grade down, you can either minus 2000. So you have a lot of options for what to do with your charge resource, and picking the right one is going to like make or break how your games go. So it's very exciting, just charge stuff in general. And it's going to matter. Oh, not matter, but it's going to depend a lot on how easy it is to charge. Like if it's pretty easy to charge, you just rip this every time, I think. Because you're like, I'll just get the charge back. If charge is really scarce, you got to think. You got to think big time.
So we know the level 1 charges. Maybe we get a level 1 charge Blazar, or maybe a level 2 like on play charge Earth Garon or something. But I'd expect you probably, it feels like you're not going to have more than 2 or 3 charges like by the time you're in the heat of things, turn 3, turn 4. So you got to really figure out how you want to ration these.
Yeah, I get the feeling like you're probably looking at like 1 to 2 charges a game, unless like Earth Garon comes out as level 3 and it's got like an activate charge 1.
Yeah,
and in that case, like you're kind of you might be on a time limit against Blazar because they can just pumping out effects at that point.
Yeah, I feel like I could really see that happening, but it might be like a 16k. Like, it reminds me of like if you remember the Ultraman Rising decks, Emmy is like level 4, 5, 6 ability lets you like negate the effect, but it's also a pretty weak triple.
Yeah.
So like true. Yeah, you can permanently have a 19k Kansato, but you're also like the cost of it is a weaker lane. So
that's true.
Like,
that's true.
If you had a weak 15k Garon, but you get a free charge every turn, you can still. The nice thing is you can only consume them so fast unless you have a bunch of triple R's. It's not like you can stockpile them and just unleash like 5 minus 2000s.
For sure. Okay, I think that's it. I don't know what else to talk about. We're just going to ramble about charge and how excited we are about it. That's it. This is a standout card for today. And then, of course, our Orb triple rare. Looking forward to this a lot. I think we might. No promises that we'll print proxies and play proxy games for you, but I think we'll be doing some testing on our own as we're both really excited.
Yeah, we're definitely excited about these. And
they didn't really give us any specifics here, so we might just get a bunch of scene cards.
No, I feel like you'll have every release, whatever. I feel like Max, I guess since that's the big new character, maybe that's towards the end.
Yeah, it's
just maybe Belial, maybe a little bit later. We have what 5 triple rare level 3s typically.
Usually we have 5, yeah.
Yeah, so we've seen 2. Max and Belial or something. Maybe they're pushing back, so maybe they don't want to reveal who's coming yet. But
true.
Keep us on our toes, because if they said introducing latest cards Tiga or something, then people already know.
Yeah, because we know Max, we know Belial, then there's the third one, the last one. Who could it be? Yeah, that's a good point. And we've had these where we had just like 3 scene cards, which honestly is kind of exciting because the scene cards tend to I feel like scene cards tend to make or break decks in some ways. So, all right, thanks for watching us yap. We got Orb. Man, who knows what we'll get next? They're really juicing us for it this time. But oh man, I can't believe it's only like a couple. It feels not that far away. So I'm really excited.
I mean, at the time of this recording, it's probably
like 6 weeks.
6 weeks, yeah.
Less than 6 weeks, I think.
Less than 6 weeks. So yeah,
5 weeks.
It's around the corner.
5 weeks, 5 triple rares. So we got to get some triple rares going, because I think they said there's 8. So we have Jeed, Feeder and Armor, Orb. So there's 5 left. 1 triple rare per week. It'll be exciting. And subscribe so you hear us yap about all of them. Bye.